Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I want to share with you this node tree setup that I made using SVerchok add-on, and also we have this shader here that's created for cycles and Eevee. So the idea is to make this kind of like a spiraling umbrella. It's you probably recognize it as umbrella of the Mr. Penguin. So the penguin, one of Batman enemy, have this interesting umbrella. This is, I think, from one of the movie. Yeah, I think this is something that can be recreated procedurally. I mean, umbrella. So I didn't make the whole umbrella, just the top part. But this umbrella is really interesting, and so I recreated sort of in Blender. But you can it can probably be improved. But let's have a look at the nodes. So first of all, I start with the cylinder MK2 again. Once again, it's just a cylinder. You might have seen me doing similar thing in the previous video, but kind of a lot of hiccups. But this one is much simpler, and I think it works quite well as well. So the umbrella, you see the shape, the profile, is based on this function. But then I kind of go over a little bit so instead of between 0 and 1, this goes between 0 point something, and the stop is a little bit lower, so we get that shape. It's clearer if you look at it without the shader, and so we can control the whole thing, like height, maybe like twist if you want to twist it, but we don't need to do that. It's actually quite interesting. It's very simple. We have these options to change the subdivisions along the I keep forgetting. I think it's along the parallel or the meridians of the cylinder, or the U or the V. And then on the meridians itself, this is what's slightly more interesting. So we have this setup. At first, you might be confused, but what's actually going on? But if you see this number over here, two numbers repeated X couple of times. Don't worry about list delete levels. It's simply changing this list into this list. And you can control these two number. So we have that. Something to be minded is about this number, list length 2, and this divide by 2. If I have 5 number here, for example, this one should probably be 5. Actually, let's try. I need these numbers are related, 20 and 5 over here. This is 5, and so we have this value that we can control to reshape our umbrella. Or now it's totally something else. Actually, I always want to make this as well. I forgot what it is. It's something you blow using wind. But so yeah, this repeater and this number are related. So if we have like 36 and then we have 6 over here, this should be 6 as well, and so we can control. So it's almost like a flower kind of design. But if we go back to 2, we have this umbrella. Yeah, I'm using this simple value, but you can actually work it a little bit better, so you get instead of this kind of shape, you get something that's more like a flower, or something that's a little bit or the reverse of this. So look at this Mr. Penguin umbrella. It sort of have that. What's interesting, of course, is this cycles shader that I'm using. This is actually very dependent on the shape of the umbrella itself. So if we change if you make changes to the number here, it will slightly change the look with the shader, because everything is procedural. So this dependent on the texture coordinate objects. I think it's based on the vertices of the object maybe. And we have this little bit of math. It's not super complicated. It's just like math modulo add, and there's a color ramp here. Without the color ramp, it's looking like this, kind of like a gradient that goes in spiral. What's interesting is that if you try to change the value and you get a different result, this is actually something that I kind of borrow from Blender Stack Exchange. I recreated. You see this number 20, you can also maybe make it different number, so you get a different pattern. But you want to, in order to make it like perfect spiral, look at the number needs to be it's not like a floating number. Should be. And then we have this radial instead of other, not linear. We want it to be radial, but spherical give you that. It's kind of nice as well. So it's a bit of, this penguin is a bit gothic. It's all about black and white and then all this pattern. It's very interesting character. Dot product power multiply. Yeah, this is something you play around with to get the spiral. If you look at the details, the spiral is actually different. It's not exactly this Mr. Penguin spiral. I actually want this spiral. I think it's possible using Blender cycles and shader as well, but I need to look around to get this spiral. The one we have is slightly different spiral. Oh, actually, if you have only one spiral, it's correct. Now I can perhaps hypnotize you like this. You are using Blender. Okay. Anyway, just joking. So yeah, this spiral setup is actually something that I borrow from this one from Blender Stack Exchange. Blender Stack Exchange actually have a lot of it's like the vault of a lot of things, nodes made using shader, animation nodes, and maybe SVerchok. Some, not many SVerchok, but a lot of animation nodes. This one's also interesting. This one is using volume, so it's 3D formula to get this kind of spiral pattern. This one is very cool. This is exactly what I'm using. Who made this? Who made this? Rich Sedman. Yeah, this guy. Thanks a lot for this one. We can now create this Mr. Penguin umbrella. All right. Hopefully you find this interesting. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.